I discovered something pretty interesting recently. When there is a marketing background person in a company's board, that company innovates better. Hi, Amrit here, co-founder of Core Voice, and in this episode of Core Insights, I want to share findings from a paper published in the Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science very recently in May 2023, where the researchers studied how the presence of marketing experienced board members, we'll call them MEBMs from this point onwards, they impact a firm's innovativeness. Basically, how receptive a firm is to try out new things and new ideas. That would be an innovative firm. Now, if some of you are wondering how relevant is the board of directors of a firm, well, there already exists enough research and specifically a theory called the upper echelon theory, pretty well accepted in the corporate world, that the strategic direction of any firm indeed does depend on the background characteristics of its board members. So that's settled. Now, the researchers, they pick up a large set of data from multiple sources on close to 2,400 firms collected from 2000 to 2017. Then they segregate all this information that they have collected across three main parameters. One, the ratio of marketing experienced board members, MEBMs, in the corporate board, along with the info on whether the CEO were themselves chairing the board or not. There is something called BoardX database from these researchers are able to pull out this information. Two, the number of patents owned by the firms. The authors of this paper have taken patents filed as a proxy for a firm's efforts towards innovation. So they get this data from something called the KPSS Tech Innovation Dataset. And three, the third parameter of all the information that they collect is details around the CEO of the firm. Like, is the CEO an insider or an outsider? Meaning, is the man or the woman has that person risen from within the ranks of the company, or they were hired from some other company directly as the CEO. And ExuComp offers this data. They also note down if a particular firm incentivizes the CEO to take risks or not, and the way they gauge this is by mapping the relationship between the CEO's wealth and that of the firm, like how they go up, what is the relation between that. The researchers also take into account several other parameters that may impact how the presence of a marketing experienced board member influences the firm's innovativeness, like things like firm size, board gender ratio, board independence, and so on and so forth. Ask me for the paper and just read it yourself. But anyway, so once the researchers start mapping all the linkages between the data that they have put together, they observe four important relationships. One, the firms that had a higher ratio of marketing experienced board members, MEBMs, in their corporate boards, they filed more patents once you take care of all control variables. And if patents filed is a valid indication of innovativeness, then indeed those firms were more innovative. So, as per the researchers, this could be because MEBMs, they are probably able to offer better customer-centric strategies and outside-in thinking compared to the other non-marketing board members. Because at the end of the day, if you are a marketer and a marketing leader more so, it means that an important part of your job has always been to enable growth by thinking of creating more and more value to your customers and communicating those values. And you have to be really good at that, and therefore you have to be really good at innovation because you are into creating stuff. So your input makes the firms more innovative. Finding 2, providing incentives for risk taking to the CEO strengthens the positive effect that MEBMs can have on innovativeness. And the reason for this is, as per the authors, since innovation is an inherently risky and uncertain activity, CEOs might only opt for it even if they're getting that advice from the MEBM. They will only opt for it if there is an incentive steering their interests towards long-term value creation. The researchers also found that monetary benefits as incentives typically did the trick. Finding 3, insider CEOs, they strengthen the firm innovativeness more. And this could be because such CEOs probably focus more on long-term goals, given that they tend to stay in the office longer and so probably already possess more firm-specific knowledge compared to outsider CEOs. Net, all of this probably makes insider CEOs more receptive to info, advice, and suggestions from the MEBMs. And the last but equally important finding 4, when a single person serves as both CEO and board chair, again, that further strengthens the effect of MEBMs on the firm's innovativeness. The reason for this should be easier to guess. In such a scenario, information flows better between the board and the CEO, because the person is common, and so both parties are invested in the same goals. All right. I know it was quite a handful, but hope you found these insights useful, especially if you have a company and you are interested in driving innovativeness in your own company. And if you're a marketer like me, hey, we are pretty valuable as board members. So cool. Again, DM me if you'd like to read the whole paper. I'll share that with you, and see you soon with some more insights.